Opposite of the zero running back. This one is the zero wide receiver. So let me just real quick. Play to win fantasy. Bucks defense is getting decimated by injury thus far. Winston is going to be airing it out. Exactly. The biggest issue with Winston is going to be his classic tale of woe, which is interceptions. Let's hope that Bruce Arians has worked with him on getting, a little bit better at that. But again, he's high risk, high reward. I have no problem if you guys want to take him. Just don't rely him in as your starter and then cry about it. That's it. Stream him. I think that's one of the best options. You don't have to drop him. Just keep him on your bench, especially if you have a big bench. No problem. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and move on to the zero wide receiver strategy and see how this shakes out. That means we're going to go running back the first 6, and then we're going to start looking at our wide receivers. And again, you can kind of sprinkle in tight end here and there. If you're one of those big proponents of the Travis Kelce, Zach Ertz, and George Kittles, feel free to try it out. Mock draft. See where these guys fall. See how it works for you. But let's go ahead and start with this zero wide receiver strategy. If you're just joining, this is 12 team, drafting from the 7th position in half PPR, 1 quarterback, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 tight end, 1 flex, 1 defense, 6 bench spots. If you guys follow that, that's awesome. FF Terminator, thank you for joining. Mark, 4th and Go, how are you doing? Welcome. I'm representing. This is what I'm gonna be talking about on your show later tonight. I'm prepping. I'm making everyone else do my work for me. That's how I roll. So when I actually sound like I think I know what I'm talking about on your podcast tonight, it's not. It's these guys. They're the ones that help me out. But, shh, that's just between us. Don't tell anyone. But let's get started. Zero wide receiver strategy. This one, I once I start drafting from this, I always get confused and I just kind of forget what I'm doing. And I don't really know why, because I think a lot of us have the zero wide receiver mentality anyway, but just not to the extreme of the 5th, 6th, 7th rounds. And if I miss your question, guys, I'm really sorry. Repeat it, because I'm kind of looking back and forth. Bug me about it. I'm cool with that. Don't worry about it. So here we go, right off the board from the 7th position. Now, don't forget, we are not looking at wide receivers until round 5. Let's be spicy and consistent. Let's say round 6. We're not even going to look at a wide receiver. We're on the zero wide receiver strategy here. So if we're looking at running backs from the 7th position, James Conner, Le'Veon Bell, Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook. Now, just to bring back the strategy that I talked about in the beginning, the tier-based. This is another good reason why you should have a tier-based breakdown, specifically from the UDK, the Ultimate Draft Kit by the Fantasy Footballers, on hand. They have a mobile app. You can really just look at your phone. It's super-duper easy. So I know that Le'Veon Bell is actually in a better tier than some of these guys on this board, like Joe Mixon. So I'm looking at James Conner or Le'Veon Bell. Which one do you guys want to go for? Let's give it another 3 seconds. We've got Conner, Bell, Mixon, or Cook. That's Dalvin Cook for the Vikings. Anyone? Love Bell? Bell. And we got a Conner, Bell, Conner. Ooh, so far, so Bell. So that was a close one, but this is up to you guys, because Fantasy Pros is kind of which way on that one too. So draft who you think you like, but we're looking at running backs right now. We are drafting, oops, my bad. I hit Conner on accident. Sorry, guys. My bad. I meant to hit Le'Veon Bell, but I hit James Conner on accident. That's what I get for doing 2 things at once. I'm not very good at it, but who cares? So running back again, because that's what we're doing, zero wide receiver. If we wanted to go tight end at this time, do you guys want to try a tight end? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? I don't know. You guys? Let's go with another. We can wait on tight end. That's the whole thing. So let's go ahead and let's stick with our running backs. All right, guys. Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb, Todd Gurley, and Damian Williams. So remember, we're not looking at wide receivers at all until the 5th or 6th round. So Mixon, Chubb, Gurley, or Damian Williams. What do you guys think? Wait, let me see if Kelsey's even available. Hang on. He is not available. So we've got George Kittle and Zach Ertz, OJ Howard, and Hunter Henry. But George Kittle and Zach Ertz are available too. But what do you guys think? Gurley, Chubb, and Chubb. We got Gurley. We got a lot of Gurleys going on here. I agree. I'm actually surprised he fell to the 2nd round, to be completely honest. So let's go ahead and go with Gurley. That seemed to be the pick. Okay, got it. Okay, Todd Gurley it is. All right, and yada. Okay, so we've got James Conner, which was supposed to be Le'Veon Bell. Again, my bad. James Conner, Todd Gurley. Let's see. We've already passed up on our stud tight ends, but that's okay. So we can totally punt the tight end position at this point, because the best tight end available right now is OJ Howard, which, I don't know. if you really want him that bad, I don't. I'm not going to take him this early. He's probably not going to fall to me, but I've been heartbroken about way more things than that. So let's stick with our running backs. Okay, guys, I need your, exactly. Nope. Agreed. Totally agreed. Let me see. Who are you? Lanky. Oh, Lanky, I love you. Lanky must move. I love that. Okay. Yes, we're punting to E for now. Totally agree. So we've got running back right now. We've got Marlon Mack, Leonard Fournette, Devonta Freeman, or Josh Jacobs. Those are the ones. Marlon Mack and Leonard Fournette are the ones standing out to me right now, guys. Leonard Fournette is one of my bust candidates this year. It's not other people's bust candidate. Let me just tell you that. DeFilippo is now the offensive coordinator for the Jags. He traditionally does not like running backs. Look what happened with Dalvin Cook. I'm afraid he's going to get lost and have just boom or bust games in that offense. And it's going to be Nick Foles passing it to everyone except Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette scares me this year. So with that being said, Fournette with the safety of the first two. I don't know. Can we afford the risk? I guess we can. We only have James Conner and Todd Gurley. I don't know how much I like it. But this isn't about me. This is about you guys. What do you think? Marlon Mack or Leonard Fournette? We have one vote for Fournette. One vote against him. But that's okay. I'll listen to you guys. We've got Mack or Fournette. Going once. Going twice. Mack attack. Mac. All right, let's go ahead and do Marlon Mack. And sorry for the dead space for anyone who happens to be listening to this and they're like, why are you just not talking? I'm actually just waiting for people to answer me, so deal with it. You'll be fine, I promise. Marlon Mack it is. All right, don't forget, we have 3 running backs right now. James Conner, Todd Gurley, and Marlon Mack. We are still waiting on our wide receiver position with the 0 wide receiver strategy. So that means we're going to look at probably another running back because it's still early to take a tight end. We can punt that position. Darnold or Anderson? Well, we'll see. We'll see what's available. Okay, so here. Oh, this is pretty good, guys. Here we have staring at us right in the face. This is where it gets juicy. Mark Ingram, Sony Michel, David Montgomery, or Philip Lindsay. Remember, this is half PPR. Mark Ingram, Sony Michel, David Montgomery, or Philip Lindsay. What do you guys think? Oh, come on, screen. 0 wide receiver. There we go. Pop back up. There we go. I personally like the safety of Mark Ingram. Not Lindsay. I know. He's actually another bust candidate for me, too. I'm so not nice to these players right now. I'm talking about that bust candidates all over the place. So we'll skip Philip Lindsay. He can probably drop to later on anyway if you want to take him. But David Montgomery, he's got a lot of opportunity with the Bears with, what's-his-face gone, Jordan Howard with the Eagles. Sony Michel, he has injury risk. But remember, we already have 3 running backs, starting running backs that we have already. And then Ingram, who I like as well. Mark Ingram for the Baltimore Ravens, he brings that veteran presence. I know that Lamar Jackson runs the ball, but having a really good running back also really helps the quarterback. So, yeah, this is going to be all spread out here, guys. So, Mark Ingram, Sony Michel, David Montgomery. So, yeah, Weezbox. That's what I do. I am a fantasy football analyst. I write for the fantasy footballers. If you haven't heard of them, go look them up. They have a great podcast. They're hilarious. Great guys. But I'm one of their writers. I get paid for it. Who knew? So, yeah, let's go ahead and go with Ingram. Just because he's right there, and I'll just hit it. Because I'm good at pressing buttons. It's very easy to do. If you haven't tried it, work out a little bit because pressing buttons can strain your hammy. Just careful. Oh my gosh. Whoever wanted David Montgomery, look who just fell to us. David Montgomery. So, but James White too. Yikes. See, I'm so excited for draft day. I feel like a little kid. Ooh. Okay. So we've got James Goner. James a Goner. I hope not. I hope I didn't just jinx him right there. All right. We've got James Conner. We've got Todd Gurley, Marlon Mack, and Mark Ingram. Remember, we're on the 0 wide receiver. We're not looking at wide receivers until at least 1 more, if not 2 more rounds. And exactly, go buy a scratch off today with the way these running backs are falling. Isn't that crazy? So we've got David Montgomery, James White, Lamar Miller, and Kenyon Drake are all available right now for us to take. The tight ends on the board, let me give you guys a little string. I still think, okay, we're in the 5th round right now. I still think that's a little early for a tight end. If you want to go look at them when you're in your draft, by all means, this is how you're going to base your roster. So that's completely up to you. But on the board right now for tight ends, we're looking at Hunter Henry. We're looking at Evan Ingram. We're looking at Jared Cook and Vance McDonald. You can wait on Vance McDonald. That is not going to be a problem. He's not going off the board until at least the 6th or 7th round so far, so we can wait on Vance. I love Vance McDonald. He's a good one to have in your back pocket. Okay, so, okay. We're talking fantasy football. There's some people who just entered and they're like, what is going on right now? Mock draft strategies. This is number 3. We're going 0 wide receiver. So we're doing a mock draft with that. So, yeah. Hard pass on the tight ends. I agree. I am not in love with any of these guys at this moment. I do like them, but if they fall later to me, I would like that even better. So let's go ahead and stick with our running backs because we still have at least 1 or 2 more rounds. We've got David Montgomery, James White, and Lamar Miller if you want to throw him in there too. Anyone? Always TE sleeper late? Yes. And Chris Herndon, who's suspended for the first 4 weeks, he's on waivers and he's going to be awesome. He's their wide receiver 2 in that offense of the Jets is what I'm saying. David Montgomery, James White, Lamar Miller. Lamar Miller, we got 1 vote for him. James White or David Montgomery? What do you guys think? Up to you. Montgomery, James White. So far we have Lamar Miller, which is only 11% suggested by Fantasy Pros. So I think we should wait on Lamar Miller. I know he's a sexy name right now, but, you know, Opportunity, I agree with Opportunity. See, that's my play to win fantasy. You know the fantasy footballers. That's Jason Moore right there. That's a Jason Mooreism, the Opportunity. All right, go Monty, go. All right, let's do it. We're going to go ahead and go David Montgomery. Okay, guys, so we now have 5 running backs because we're doing the 0 wide receiver. So we're punting the wide receiver position until at least the 6th or 7th round. So we're now in the 6th round. And we've got James Conner, Todd Gurley, Marlon Mack, Mark Ingram, and David Montgomery as our 5 running backs. So let's go ahead and take one more look at the running backs that we have available and see if we want to punt it even further to the 7th round. So we have Lamar Miller, Tariq Cohen, Tevin Coleman, and Coleman. I'm so sorry, Tevin Coleman. I did not mean to call you a butt. I apologize. Tevin Coleman and Latavius Murray. Those are the 4 guys that we have available if we want to go ahead and punt the wide receiver position one more. Now, let me give you guys a little bit of background. The reason why punting the wide receiver position can generally work is because when you're looking at wide receiver 3 and wide receiver 4, and you look at running back 3 and running back 4, the wide receivers generally tend to score a lot more fantasy points than the running back 3 and 4 do. So if you want to load up your roster on running backs, this is the strategy that you kind of want to follow for that because wide receivers can score more points and you can pick them up later in your rounds. That's one of the reasons why this strategy is so effective and why people really like it. So with that being said, again, running back still available, Lamar Miller, Tariq Cohen, Tevin Coleman, and Latavius Murray. Now let's go ahead and just take a look at our wide receivers. We've got Alshon Jeffrey, Jarvis Landry, Dante Pettis, and Sammy Watkins. That is who we have looking at the 6th round of our wide receivers. Now remember guys, all of the stud wide receivers are off the board at this point. That's okay. This is when you have to understand and know these players that are going mid to late in these drafts. Study up, because if you want to have this draft strategy when you're going into it, you have to know who it is that you're going to be picking. Some of these lesser known names, maybe these guys were hurt before, you never know. Right now, Alshon Jeffrey, Jarvis Landry, Dante Pettis, and Sammy Watkins. I like Alshon Jeffrey a little bit less this year with the addition of Deshaun Jackson. And you know what? I do kind of want to have a piece of that Browns offense. So I'm leaning Jarvis Landry. What do you guys think? Should we go for another running back and punt the wide receiver still some more? Or should we go ahead and pick up Landry? See, and I agree. So play to win fantasy, it's Landry or Pettis. I agree. But I think we can wait on Dante Pettis. Don't forget, this is only the 6th round. So I think we can wait another round on Dante Pettis. Pettis. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and not pick Pettis. And if you guys are right, I will be like, I should have taken him, my bad. But I think we can wait on Dante Pettis. But let's go ahead and pick Landry because I don't think Landry's going to be available next round. I think Dante Pettis will be, and I want both of them on my team. So let's go ahead and get Jarvis Landry. Let's see. Yep. What do you know? Dante Pettis has fallen to us in the 7th round. So obviously, I like Dante Pettis a lot. They have Sammy Watkins. I have no faith in Sammy Watkins. If you like him, he's going to be available to you here in this mock draft, that is. Now, some other names that are going to be coming up on the board for us as we move forward are going to be Christian Kirk and Marvin Jones. I like Christian Kirk a lot. He has really good rapport with Kyler Murray. Something very interesting you should know, Michelle Majuk has brought that up a couple times. She did when I was on podcast with them a couple months ago. She really likes Christian Kirk. I like him. I'm going to keep him in my back pocket because I think we can wait another round on Christian Kirk, and I really want Dante Pettis. So I'm going to go ahead and draft Dante Pettis. Let me just give you guys a rundown here. Running backs. James Conner, Todd Gurley, James Conner, Todd Gurley, Marlon Mack, Mark Ingram, David Montgomery. So far for our wide receivers, we have Jarvis Landry and Dante Pettis. Now here's another one too that I absolutely love. These are guys that I love. These middling wide receivers and middling RBs are like some of my favorite people going into 2019. So for the wide receiver position, we're looking at our what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're in the 8th round right now. We've got Curtis Samuel, who I love. He's finally healthy. Cam Newton is finally healthy. He should have a breakout year this year. Curtis Samuel, the ageless wonder himself, not Frank Gore. I know I kind of use that. Larry Fitzgerald. We also have Dede Westbrook. This is interesting with Nick Foles in that Jag offense and with DeFilippo. Look what happened to Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs under DeFilippo. So Dede Westbrook is still available and Cortland Sutton. My choices here are going to be Curtis Samuel or Dede Westbrook. Yes, exactly. Lanky, not so smooth. Reception perception. Why do I have such a hard time saying that? For Curtis Samuel is off the charts. Matt Harmon has glowing reviews about Curtis Samuel, and I could not agree more. He's a beast at creating separation, and it's only going to be a matter of time before he and Cam Newton start gelling, and they're both healthy. I think it'll be this year. Curtis Samuel. I agree. Let's get Curtis Samuel because I love him. So our wide receivers right now, Jarvis Landry, Dante Pettis, and now we have Curtis Samuel. Now, this is where it also keeps getting more fun, guys. Now we're finally getting to our wide receiver position. We're in the 9th round now. If you want to start looking at tight ends, this is a place where we can take a look. But are wide receivers available to us? Yes. I love Samuel as well. Is he really going this early? I mean, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? We're talking like the 8th round. I wouldn't be surprised. DJ Moore was going in the 4th or 5th round. So this is actually kind of late considering that he's like at least a wide receiver 2, if not overtaking DJ Moore and wide receiver 1. But yeah, I mean, if you can grab Debo. I mean, wait on him though. But if you missed out on anyone on that offense, grab Debo. Why not? I just happen to wait on him. But anyway, wide receivers we're focusing on. Deshaun Jackson, love him. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Devin Funches, and Michael Gallup. Those are our 4 wide receivers available to us. Now, we already have 3 wide receivers. Let's go ahead and check out who's on our tight end. Guys, we have Vance McDonald. He has actually fallen to us in the 9th round. I am really surprised about that. But we've got Vance McDonald, David Njoku, Eric Ebron, and Austin Hooper. What do you guys think? Should we go ahead and go and be safe and pick up Vance McDonald now so that nobody else snags him? Because as soon as that tight end gets on a run, you know we're going to miss out on him, which what sucks about drafting it from the middle of the draft. Everybody, by the time someone goes on a run, you're already like at the bottom of the dumpster. It absolutely sucks. So far, I'm thinking I want to go with Vance. And it looks like, Deshaun Jackson for the upside for sure. And safety with the Vance dance. I think we should do that too. Let's go ahead and go Vance McDonald. So far, I'm really liking the way this roster is shaping up, guys. I really like it. So, you know what? Now that I do this, I'm going to do something really quick. Bear with me, y'all. I would appreciate ya. Cool. I just had to make sure that I saved my previous draft. Okay. So we went ahead and got our boy Vance McDonald. So he's our tight end. We can put the tight end position now because we can get later round tight ends that can be our streamers or filling in for the bye week. So let's go ahead and go back to wide receiver. Actually, do you guys want to look at the quarterbacks that are available? It's 10th round, so might be a little bit early for you guys. What do you think? Herndon, I agree. I love Herndon. But you can pick him up literally last position because he's suspended for 4 weeks. And he's according to Fantasy Football Calculator, in half PPR, he's not even getting drafted. So let's look at, guys, okay. Here are our quarterbacks. We've got Jared Goff, Kyler Murray, I can't even say his name. Big Ben. Let's just do that. Big Ben Roethlisberger or Lamar Jackson. So Jared Goff is actually going off the board earlier than Kyler Murray. Yes, QB is ridiculously deep this year. You know what? Let's experiment. Let's leave and let's punt that quarterback position even more so. Let's wait. Let's go back to our wide receivers. We got Devin Funches, Dante Moncrief. Oh my God! Moncrief. I love Dante Moncrief. We've got Devin Funches, Dante Moncrief, John Brown, or Deshaun Hamilton. Jared Goff. I can't do it like they do it, obviously. Yes, it is too early on a QB. Just wanted to throw out some names there for you just to see what we got going. But Devin Funches, Dante Moncrief, John Brown, or Deshaun Hamilton. Those are the wide receivers we had since we punted the position, and we already have like 6 running backs. So I'm going to go with Dante Moncrief. I hope you guys are okay with that. He is my guy this year. I've planted my flag. He is hashtag my guy. Is Christian Kirk available? No, I think he slid off the board. Yeah, I think he slid off the board and got away from us. Got away from me, I should say. No, he gone. But if he's, excuse me, I didn't mean to cough right there. I know, whispers Moncrief. I love it. But if you guys want to go for Christian Kirk, just keep an eye on him and where he's going. I don't think it's going to be a problem picking him up. I just happened to pass on him for another player. But I love Christian Kirk too. If you like him, take him. Love it. So that's what I'm going to do here. Fantasy Pros says that I'm supposed to like Devin Funches more than Dante Moncrief. And I say no. I say I don't like it. Did you get distracted doing the Vans dance? It happens to me all the time. You know, it's a catchy little jig. It's a nice jig. I'm going to do Dante Moncrief. I know it looks like I'm really sweaty. I'm not. I'm just shiny right now because I'm figuring out the lighting system. Bear with me. Okay, so I got Dante Moncrief. And now let's just have fun. I think we're in the 11th round. We got Deshaun Hamilton, Tyrell Williams. That's interesting. James Washington. This is where James Washington needs to be going. This is where he needs to be going is this late. We already have Dante Moncrief, so we don't need to pick up James Washington. Kenny Stills. So, I don't know. What about tight ends? Austin Hooper, Trey Burton, Delaney Walker, Jack Doyle. What running backs are still? Adrian Peterson, Kalen Ballage, Carlos Hyde, Ito Smith. You guys, if right now you want to take a handcuff like Ito Smith, you want to pick up a shot. You want to take a shot on Carlos Hyde. Apparently Andy Reid is thrilled with Carlos Hyde because he's mad at Damian Williams. Now's the chance to do it. Or you can, let's go ahead and go for another tight end. That seems to be the consensus here. Or Austin Hooper. Let's get him. There it is. So we got him. Austin Hooper. Okay, guys, all we have left is one bench spot and a defense. So let's go ahead and pick up our bench spot. We still don't have a quarterback. So we need to fill that need here. Let's go to quarterback. So this is, guys, Kyler Murray is still available. So is Ben Roethlisberger. They had the most pass attempts in the league last year. We've got Kyler Murray, Ben Roethlisberger, Lamar Jackson, or Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is also another one that has never finished outside of the top 10 since he's been in the NFL. These are the guys that are available this late in the draft. So I know, right? Can you believe it? I like Dak too, only because he's reliable. Yeah, let's go ahead and go with him. Or we actually might be able to wait on Dak because Kyler Murray's still good. What do you guys think? Dak Prescott or Kyler Murray? And Ben was on there too. I mean, really, this is going to be personal choice here. I'm going to go ahead and go, I'm going to go Dak Prescott. Yeah, let's do Dak for the floor. Okay, Kyler Murray's, Kirk Cousins was still available. I love him too. Guys, look who we have. Lamar Jackson. Phillip Rivers is still here. Like, yeah, I love Phillip Rivers too. And Mitch Trubisky. What do you guys think? Lamar Jackson, Phillip Rivers, Mitch Trubisky, Josh Allen is still there. I mean, unless he gets like steamrolled by a team. Who knows? I don't know. Do you know? No idea. Let's go with the old man Rivers. Let's go with Phillip Rivers. I like him. And then for our defense, gosh, Mike Davis also went this late. Wow. Holy moly. Okay. Tom Brady hasn't even been taken off the board, which I always find shocking. So let's go ahead and grab the Houston Texans. Why not? They have a lot they're going to have to deal with. All right, guys, A-. We got an A-. Let me read you our 0 wide receiver team. Here we go. Dak Prescott, James Conner, Todd Gurley, Jarvis Landry, Dante Pettis, Vance McDonald, Marlon Mack. We got Houston Texans defense. We've got Mark Ingram, David Montgomery, Curtis Samuel, Dante Moncrief, Austin Hooper, and Phillip Rivers. I'm sorry, guys. That's a great team. We drafted a great team. Houston does have a tough schedule. You guys, you don't even have to get another defense if you don't want to. I just had to fill one in just to finish the mock draft. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Just PS. So I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot of this just so I don't forget about it, because I'm working with Mark tonight. I'm going over this on Sports Outliers. That's what I'm going to be doing tonight, so I need to make sure I have that saved. Okay, guys, let me wet the whistle here because I'm kind of parched. Okay, guys, so our last and final draft strategy, by all means not the only one left that there is at all. Thank you. I like this too. I like this draft strategy too. But this next one coming up is roster-based construction. I didn't realize that this was a thing because this is how I usually draft. And I want you guys to, for a minute, yes, it's not fantasy. It is Fantasy Pros, but it's not like the pro version. This is the free version that they have. So it's Fantasy Pro, and it's not like the mock draft library. It's on the draft simulator. So it's in a little bit different spot, but I really rely on this a lot. Anywho, I love roster-based construction because this is going to look different than everybody else's. You're not looking at these players in a vertical ranking system. You're not doing that. What you're doing is you're learning about these players from beginning to end. You're going to learn who's going in the beginning, you're going to learn about who's going in the middle, and you're going to learn about those guys going at the end. And what I want you to do is, in your mind or on a piece of paper, I want you to write down in a horizontal line, I want you to create columns, like 7 columns, I think it is. All right, in one column, the first one is going to be a quarterback. Next one, running back. Next one, running back. Next column, wide receiver. Next one, wide receiver. Next one, tight end. Next one, flex. All right? All across the board on these columns. Underneath those positions, I want you guys to list who your favorite to least favorites that you want to be your starters on your squad. So for quarterback, if you want Patrick Mahomes, write his name down. Then you want Dak Prescott. Then you want somebody else. Who are you going to be starting? Who do you want to be your plug and play? Don't think about it. Not even going to be an issue unless, God forbid, they get hurt. Write that down in a vertical line underneath all of those columns. Mine is going to look completely different from yours. It might be similar because, you know, guys are good or they suck. Whatever. Kind of like tier drafting. Tier-based drafting is slightly different because you're using tiers. This is not. This is roster-based construction. This is who you are going to start, and it doesn't matter if you reach for guys in this. You want your guys, and you're going to take them whenever it is that you want them because you are basing your roster on your starters, not necessarily on value. What I mean by that, we'll get into it so I can give you guys a better understanding of what this means. But in each of those columns, beneath those column headers, you're going to have all your players. So the same thing for running back. Who do you want to be your starting running back no matter what? Both running back positions. Same thing with the wide receivers, do the same thing. Same thing with the tight end, do the same thing. And you're going to see you have these lists of guys that are either really long or they're really short or whatever. That's how we're going to draft. And again, we're not necessarily looking at average draft position. We're not looking at, okay, can we wait and get him at a value? We want these guys. So we are going to take them, even if that means we have to do the dreaded perceived reach to get them. That is what the roster-based construction idea is all about. Now, again, Michael Wenrick for the Fantasy Footballers has excellent articles about all of this. So check them out on the Fantasy Footballers. He can probably explain it a lot better than I can. But we're going to mock that way, and we're going to have the same thing we've been doing before. 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex spot, which is wide receiver, running back, or tight end, and then 1 defense just because shits and giggles. Why not? So this is what we're doing, guys. So I'm going to be taking guys that you're like, what are you doing? What that you can wait on him. What are you doing? It doesn't matter. I'm basing this lineup, who I'm drafting, on who I want to start day in and day out. So I'm still drafting 12 team, half PPR from the 7th position. That has not changed. So let's go ahead and start our draft. Let's see what this looks like. This may be awful. I don't even know, but we'll see. Okay, so from the 7th position, the suggested players are Devontae Adams, James Conner, Julio Jones, or Michael Thomas. I want James Conner. So I'm taking James Conner. All right, my first running back is on there. Lots of people are off the board. So right now I'm looking to fulfill another running back, wide receiver, or tight end spot because this is roster-based. This is who I want to start. Roster-based construction for anyone who's joining. So Le'Veon Bell, Dalvin Cook, Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans. Again, I personally want to have another stud running back. I believe Le'Veon Bell is going to have a pretty good year. I don't like Tyreek Hill, and Dalvin Cook doesn't have the durability for me to not worry about him. So I'm going to go ahead and take Le'Veon Bell. So far, I've got James Conner and Le'Veon Bell, which is shocking that Bell fell to the second round, but I'll take it. Okay, guys, wide receivers. Stephon Diggs, O.J. Howard, Brandon Cooks, Marlon Mack. Now, if there's a guy that you want that isn't necessarily right here in this position, you don't have to take them. So these are just the suggested players from Fantasy Pros. If I go to just tight end only, I don't like those tight ends at that point. They're all gone. All the good ones are gone. Running back only, Kerryon Johnson. Oh, I want a wide receiver. So I have my 2 starting running backs. Now I'm looking at the wide receiver position because that's where I'm going to get the better players is earlier on in this draft. I'm looking at Stephon Diggs, Julian Edelman, Brandon Cooks, and Robert Woods. This is where I'm going to be controversial because I want to start Julian Edelman. He is consistent. I like him. Tom Brady loves him. I'm taking Julian Edelman, even though I can probably wait and get him. Don't care. I want him on my team. I'm going to secure that position. I just drafted Julian Edelman. Yes, people are going to make fun of me. They're going to say, oh my God, you could have waited. Oh my God, Julian Edelman this. Oh my God, Julian Edelman that. Whatever. He's pretty. I like him. I want him on my roster. The end. You just ignore all those haters. So at left, we got Kenny Golladay, Chris Godwin, Tyler Lockett, Cooper Kupp. Here's going to be another situation. I want Tyler Lockett. I don't care if it's only the 4th round. I want him as a starter, as my wide receiver. So guess what? I'm not taking Kenny Golladay, who everyone is telling me I should take. I'm not taking Chris Godwin with all the Chris Greatwin hype. I love him, yes, but I want Tyler Lockett more, even though I'm reaching to get him. Don't care. Drafting him. I love it. So I've got my 2 running backs. I've got my 2 wide receivers. Now, I'm in most of my leagues have 3 wide receivers. So keep that in mind too when you're drafting, for the sake of being consistent and a little bit shorter. I went ahead and just had 2 wide receivers. So right now, if I were in a league that had 3 wide receivers, I'm looking at Allen Robinson, Tyler Boyd, DJ Moore, or Robbie Anderson. I don't like those guys. So I'm going to go ahead and look at what tight ends are available here. Hunter. I don't like Evan Ingram this year. Everybody does. I don't. I just think that offense is just garbage. And I do like Vance McDonald, but this isn't one of those situations where I don't have to reach for Vance McDonald yet. I can wait on him a little bit. So we're gonna leave that. Let's go back to running back. Okay, now I went running back, wide receiver. I got my two players per position studs that I'm gonna start and not have to think about unless it's a bye week. That's done. So now I have a flex position that I want to have a starter for. Mark Ingram, Sony Michel, David Montgomery, or James White. Because I'm in a half PPR and I like James White because like I mentioned before, last year he had 123 targets in the passing game and 99 rushing attempts. He scored more receiving touchdowns than he did rushing touchdowns, and we already have this Sony Michel / Damian Harris situation going on. I think James White is going to be a little bit safer. But I could take David Montgomery, Sony Michel, or Mark Ingram, but guess what? This is my guy that I want to take. So I'm taking James White because I love him. So now my starters are done. My week in, week out guys, I don't have to worry against any defense. These are the guys I'm going with. Now they're done. Now I get to play and I can take whoever I want, whenever I want, because my starters are taken care of. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go with David Montgomery, Mr. Opportunity himself. So we've got David Montgomery. And you know what? I'm going to be like really spicy. I'm going to take a look at what quarterbacks are available. And guess what? Carson Wentz is available right now. Guess what? I've got my starters. I'm taking him. Carson Wentz. So this is an interesting. So same Dino noob. Got you. Dynasty newbie. I feel you. How are you choosing when to grab players by position? This is roster-based construction. So this is a little bit different than regular average draft position if you're going to be, using ADP to decide who to take when. This is who you want to take. So this is based on who your starters are. So right now I chose guys independent of their ADP. Well, not entirely independent, but mostly independent of their average draft position because I wanted them as my week in, week out starters that I don't have to think about. So that's how I drafted those guys. My lineup and my way I construct my roster-based grid is going to be completely different from yours because you're going to have guys that you like better than I do. So it's going to be different. This is fun. This is how I like to draft because I love being saucy and just doing whatever I want whenever I want to do it. Because you know what? Hate if you want. I don't care. Anywho, I just drafted Carson Wentz. Was it early? Yeah. Do I care? No. Because guess what? He's my quarterback. So far, my team is Carson Wentz, James Conner, Le'Veon Bell, Julian Edelman, Tyler Lockett. I'm flexing James White, and I got David Montgomery on my bench. So let's just go ahead and start filling people in. You know what? We've got Sterling Shepard. I'm not a big fan of that Giants offense. If you are, go ahead and take him. He's available. Latavius Murray, Rashad Penny, Cortland Sutton. Guess what? I'm taking Latavius Murray. I like him too. I can stream him. He's good. Right, okay, so you prioritize players at each position, but when do you pick your number 3 QB versus your quarterback? So it depends on how your league drafts. So let's say I'm in a league where we take our quarterbacks first off the board. Sounds crazy, I know, but our quarterbacks score like 5 times more points than anyone else on our team. So they're by far the most valuable. So traditionally, you can wait on your quarterback late. If you want to. If you're in a league that doesn't score quarterbacks very high, you're going to get a lot of value for your quarterback late. If that helps answer your question. I'm not sure if it did. DM me if it didn't, or tag me, or, tweet me. I'll see if I can try to help you out a little bit better if I didn't answer your question. I played it kind of balanced here. I did running back, wide receiver, and then I did my flex, and then I went all the way up to quarterback pretty early, and then, I went to, I think I did that. I don't remember what I did. Go back and watch it. Who knows? But I took Carson Wentz pretty early. I don't care because I wanted him as my starter. I love him. So now I'm going to go ahead and see. Did I miss on Vance? No, I didn't. Okay, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and take Vance McDonald here because I want him as my tight end and I don't want someone else to take him. It's early. Yes, it is early for Vance McDonald, but guess what? I want him. All right. Now, Michael Gallup, Dante Moncrief, Jared Cook. I love Moncrief this year. I'm taking Dante Moncrief. Again, these are your guys. Don't just pick these out of a hat willy-nilly. Make sure you know whereabouts they're going in ADP, whereabouts their rankings are, and then choose your team like that. Don't worry about people hating on you for taking them too early or things of that nature in this draft strategy. This is if you want to do this strategy. If you don't want to, by all means, I'm not making you do it. Let's see. My team is Carson Wentz, James Conner, Le'Veon Bell, Julian Edelman, Tyler Lockett, Vance McDonald, James White, David Montgomery, Latavius Murray, Dante Moncrief, and I don't know. It looks so good. Everything looks so good. Let's go. What other running backs we got? So Dion Lewis, Kalen Ballage, those guys are available. I really like my running backs so far. Let's go to wide receiver. No, I don't like those either. Let's go to running back. I'm going to take Dion Lewis just because I'm not sure if Derrick Henry is going to live up to all of his hype. So I'm going to have his handcuff, his backup, if you will, or the other half of that running back tandem on my roster. I like that. You know what? I also like Carlos Hyde better than I like Ito Smith, but I'm going to take Ito Smith just in case Devontae Freeman decides he wants to get hurt again. Hope that doesn't happen. We never want to wish injury on anybody. All right, guys, I got one bench spot left to fill and then a defense. So I'm going to go to whatever suggested players there are. Let's go to quarterback. This is my last pick. Jameis Winston, Dak Prescott, Phillip Rivers. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and take Jameis Winston for that upside. And I got him literally the second to last pick in this roster. All right, so now with that being said, I need to go to my defense special teams. Wow, the Browns are rated. You know, let's take the Browns. Why not? Okay, guys, so with the roster-based construction on a 12-team PPR mock draft, Fantasy Pros only gave you a B+. I don't really care. But my team is Carson Wentz, James Conner, Le'Veon Bell, Julian Edelman, Tyler Lockett, Vance McDonald, James White. Got the Browns defense, David Montgomery, Latavius Murray, Dante Moncrief, Dion Lewis, Ito Smith, and Jameis Winston. I really like that team too. So let me just take a quick screenshot of this, make sure I have that saved. Okay, that's it. Thank you. See? Appreciate it. So I know this was kind of long, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have questions about this, tweet me. Let me know. I will try to answer your questions as best as I can. But these were the 4 different draft strategies that you can take in. Quick tips, don't be married to one. If you are drafting from a certain position and that draft strategy doesn't work, don't go with it. Be flexible. Combine them if you want. This is meant to be fun. Go into your drafts and have a good time. You know, jar and jeer with your friends, needle people, like whatever. That's cool. But fantasy football is meant to be a ton of fun. So I'm sorry this ran super long. Just wanted to run through these. Guys, Sports Outliers, This podcast is going to be dropping late tonight, so it'll be available tomorrow. And I'm going to be recapping this with Mark Drumheller, and we're going to go from there. But thank you. You guys have a good evening, too. Remember, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm like desperate. I need people. So go to YouTube, search Stepmom Lauren, find my YouTube channel. Don't Google it unless you like porn. That's going to have to be like my tagline because I have to tell that to everybody. Twitter, it's at Stepmom Lauren. Instagram, it's at Stepmom Lauren. Facebook, facebook.com/Stepmom Lauren. All of my work, podcast videos, articles are on my website, stepmomlauren.com. Come find me, follow me, chat with me. I like talking to people and I love interacting with you guys. So thank you so much for helping me do this, guys. I really appreciate your input and I hope this helped. Like and share, subscribe to my page. I love you guys. Have a good one. And I'm going to be really weird and like sneaking in here like, hi. So yeah, hold on. Where's that X? I'm like blind now. But thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Without you guys, I wouldn't be doing this or having any fun doing it. Bye. Stop broadcast.